Oh
Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
you're gonna tell a story? I'm ready.
Yeah, uh, it's actually pretty crazy. And that's why I think people should go to school. So one of the mentors or one of the lecturers in animation mentor was this guy called Dave Burgess. He's well known in the industry. He used to work in Disney during the golden era, the golden age, where he worked on Lion King, he worked on Tarzan, and all that stuff. He was one of I guess, my mentors for one of the classes. What was crazy was that when I was working at Animal Logic in Sydney, uh, they were at the time they were saying they were opening a studio in Vancouver, so they had to hire some people. And they hired Dave as the animation supervisor in Vancouver. So he came down to Sydney to check out our studio in Sydney. And, I was actually interested in moving over to Vancouver because there's more opportunities there. And I got a chance to, the head of animation in Sydney knew that I was interested. So he actually was like, hey, why don't you go have a one-on-one with Dave? You know, and it was really nice of him to set me up with a one-on-one with Dave because I was a junior at
No,
the time.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, that was so nice of him.
talking to an OG.
Yeah, and and I was surprised because I wasn't sure who the supervisor was until I actually met him, and then I was like, oh my god, you were my teacher. And of course he has a lot of students. He's been teaching for a long time. And I told him, I was like, hey, I used to be in your class for animation mentor. And he was like, oh really? And we were chatting about that, and like to finally meet him in person, like it was awesome because he's a great dude. And next thing you know, when the animation studio was set up, he actually got me over there. He transferred me over there to work on Lego 2. And now now I'm still working with him in 2020. So it's pretty crazy how small the industry is, I guess. And
Yeah,
how,
yeah, it is small.
yeah, and how one interaction can get you like a job across like the other side of the fucking world. So
Yeah,
it's insane.
yeah. So like when you're studying, I think a lot of the people that you study with will end up working in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a
Yeah.
crazy thing is that I don't think a lot of people realize like that. Oh, this
Yeah.
guy that's like, in the same class as me, like he could be like in Sony somewhere one day. He could be at Pixar one day. You might
Hmm.
get a job at one of those places because of him
Exactly. Yeah.
or her or whoever. It's like it's good to make connections like whilst you're studying.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we made AnimJam, right? Like it was like the whole like you make a community of people who's trying to learn animation and then
Yeah,
hopefully prop each other up,
yeah,
sort of thing. And yeah,
for sure.
like it's yeah, it's crazy because like for example, me and you, like you were a year ahead of me at TAFE, but we literally worked in the same studio like maybe like 3 years down the track, 4 years down the track.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy, and we never
Yeah,
actually
it's
met as
insane.
well
Yeah,
when we were when we were studying. But
yeah,
then we knew so many people like we had so many like mutual
mutual.
connections.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
And that's the
it's
same. Yeah, that's the same as like I guess Potter. I
yeah.
haven't spoken to him. He went to the same high school as me. I found out like a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
The same freaking high school. Like
yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, what other schools like did you? I guess like did you hear about or like animation schools that you know of or that you've heard good things about? Yes.
So like there's like obviously the big three, I think the online ones. You
Hmm.
got like Animation Mentor, you got iAnimate, and you got Anim School.
Hmm.
Those are like I guess the three that are competing for like the same kind of
For
like student.
the
Yeah.
champion, like yeah, like
Yeah.
the lead, the head don.
Yeah. And I don't want to
Yeah,
seem like, we're like too skewed to like any one of them, because we've
yeah,
been
yeah,
talking about animation mentor a lot.
yeah,
But I feel like all three of them, I've seen like amazing students come out of all three. So,
yeah.
um, to me, it doesn't, I'm like almost sure that they have good mentors and teachers and
Hmm.
good programs in all three of the big
Hmm.
ones. But yeah, it just comes down to the students themselves, like how hard you're willing to work, how much
Hmm.
extra work you're willing to put in. Because
Yeah.
I don't feel like any one of those three would give you the full education that you need,
Hmm.
in order to succeed in the industry. It just gives you like it gives you the roadmap, gives you the tools, gives you the
Yeah.
it gives you as much as it can. But then like it's like a baton hand. They'll
Yeah.
hand you the baton, but you have to take it and run.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you
Ooh,
don't put in the
nice
work,
analogy.
yeah,
Go on, sorry.
yeah. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to make it. So,
Yeah.
any extra learning you can do on the side, whether it's about like a different, even like a different department or different like type of work, for example. So if you're doing animation, it's helpful to know about rigging.
Hmm.
Even if it's just a very low
Simple.
level, like, I mean, like a base level concepts of rigging, just so when you talk to a rigger, for example,
Yeah.
like you can
Yeah.
speak kind of like in some sort of same language that they can understand too. You're like, okay,
Mhm.
the IKFK or whatever is not
Yeah.
working. I need it to match, or
Yeah. Like,
stuff like that. Yeah, it's helpful to
yeah.
have like a broader knowledge. So I think in order to succeed, you definitely have to put in like extra work. Like I when I was studying, I put in extra work. It wasn't
Hmm.
like I just like went through the course and that's all I learned. I'd
Hmm.
look up online tutorials for other things. Even to this day, we're still learning constantly. It's
Yeah.
like you can't just like hang up the towel and just say like I'm
Yeah.
done learning, because
Yeah. Especially in this field, right? It's all
yeah,
it's technologically based somewhat.
it's changing
Uh,
like every like 2 years it changes. Like
yeah.
one minute it's like, hey, substance is great, and then like
Yeah.
mixer comes out and it's free now,
Yeah.
and then there's like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
blenders here, and then this it's
Yeah.
changing all the time.
Exactly. And you have to, yeah, you have to constantly be learning, and or you get left in the dust, really. You have to have like a curiosity about how to do things and how to do things
Yeah,
quicker. Um,
and
and
something I realized, like, this applies in VFX, I guess maybe more than in animation, but
Mhm.
in VFX, um like all the people who are like seniors, or like like leads, or like supervisors, people who are in like the upper levels of like management and production. They're all people who have like a really broad idea of like how the whole pipeline works.
Mhm.
Like if you do something in animation, how it affects people all the way in comp.
Mhm.
Like affects how it affects people all the way in light. So
Mhm.
like these are things I have to consider, and I don't think you can get into like a lead role or like a supervisor role without having that broad knowledge.
Mhm.
Because it's like, okay, if I animate like this and there's like penetrations, of
Mhm.
the arm in the chest, someone's going to do a sim that's going to blow up their sim. So
Mhm.
like you have to consider all these little things. Okay, maybe when I'm animating, I wouldn't like put the arm all the way in. I'll try to find a way to like get the same
Mhm.
feel without
Yeah.
like busting somebody else's workflow
Yeah.
up down the line.
Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Definitely. I think they have to have a broad knowledge because they are also like, I guess, discussing, like leads and soups are constantly discussing with other departments about things in general, right? How
Yeah,
to pass our work down to the next department and how to
yeah,
take work from the previous department. So if you don't know the basics of each department, you're not going to know what's happening.
yeah.
And
So I think it's
yeah.
it's good to invest in like that little bit of extra knowledge. If you want, like, if you like plan to like, okay, I want to like, hopefully one day I'll be a lead, or one day I
Mhm.
want to be like a supervisor or something like that. It's
Yeah.
definitely worth investing in that knowledge. And the earlier the better, because at
Yeah.
some point it just becomes second nature. You don't even think about like,
Hmm.
the repercussions because you already know them. It's
Yeah.
like ingrained in you.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing because like these this knowledge, it really does just like when you carry it early, like for some reason this would like everything that people talk about like around you, you might not notice it, but everything starts to make more sense. And it just marinates in your brain. And every time like someone mentions something, it just or like something new, it just adds on as an extra layer of knowledge on what you
Yeah,
know. And then next thing you know a lot more about rigging or lighting than you thought you did because
yeah,
you understood the base level of you know um, what each department's about. So yeah, I definitely think it's worthwhile to know, yeah, to know about other departments or the whole process in general.
yeah.
Um,
And the more you
so,
know, like obviously the better, because
mhm.
then you just have like more clear idea of how everything works.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for watching or listening to our content. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks again. Peace.